Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. This is a little delayed. I wanted to get this out quicker, but some circumstances happened. I actually never ended up getting to make this, but I'm going to rank every 2024 movie that I watched. Now, this was a lot of movies. I watched 108 last year, and I'm sure some of you guys haven't seen these, so you might be clicking on this to think like which ones I thought were good. Maybe you've been following it for a while, just seeing where I would put these in terms of a tier list. So I actually made a tier list that has my top 10. I have A tier movies, B tier movies, C tier, D tier, F tier, and then the worst 10. Basically, it just goes down. My favorite 10 are going to be on the top, and then I think it goes like great movies are in A, good movies are in B, mid movies are in C, D has some pretty bad movies, F are really bad movies, but then there's my worst 10, which are the worst of the worst. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. This is an alphabetical order, so you could skip around if you're here for a specific movie. If not, you get to watch every movie I watch. Like I said, it's 108 movies, so it is quite a bit. But starting off, alphabetical order, the first, I guess it's either that or 1992, but 1992 was put at the end. Abigail. Now, this movie was one that I thought would be decent. I didn't think it'd be great. And I was surprised. This movie was awesome. It was a weird premise, as you guys know. It's a pretty crazy premise, seeing a young child become a freaking vampire, and a ballerina vampire at that. So, I don't know. I thought this was a lot of fun, a lot of dumb fun to be had with it. But, yeah, it was a surprising horror movie, one of my biggest surprises of the year, and I really, really enjoyed it. Next up, we have Afraid. Yeah, this movie was horrible. I don't know. It was an interesting premise that they could have nailed, but then the ending kind of threw it all off and made it like, okay, so was this even AI? It was kind of stupid, in my opinion. One of those horror movies you'll see as we go later on here. Some of these horror movies that came out were horrible, and there's been some really good horror movies. Afraid does not fall into the good ones, so that's in my worst 10, one of the worst experiences I had in the theater this year. But next up, Alien Romulus. That is in my best 10. I think it comes in at like number 8 or 9 in my top 10, so it's on the border. But regardless, this movie was great. I know there was some issues with the CGI, blah, 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 whatnot. Listen, at the end of the day, it was a back-to-form Alien movie, and that's what I wanted. I thought the Xenomorph looked amazing. That freaking final Alien was nightmare-inducing. And I had a good time with this. I love the Alien movies. The first 2, at least, were incredible. The rest kind of took a little nosedive off a cliff. But Alien Romulus is great. Definitely one that I'd check out, especially if you are a fan of Alien movies. And yeah, it made my top 10 of the year, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, Am I Racist? This is a movie that I watched. When was I? Yeah, I was working out, and I put it on. I saw it. It had its moments. It was a pretty mid movie, though. I mean, not a lot of source material to go on. It had its funny moments. I'm sure if you're a fan of Matt Walsh, you'll really enjoy this, but I don't know. I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was horrible. Just one of those mid movies that I would say. It had its moments. Honora. Just showed my friend this last night, actually. And that's actually going... I'll label it so the higher up it is, the more I enjoyed it. So Honora is actually, I think, my number 5 movie of the year. So I think it is number 5 or 4, whatever. I don't know, my rankings, I don't have them memorized as of right now. 108 movies are pretty hard to pinpoint exactly, so I'm going off of what I remember from it and what I think I enjoyed more. And yeah, Nora, what a fun, surprising movie. I think this was my biggest surprise of the year with just like how good it was. It was so funny. It had a great plot to it. The first half of the movie, you're thinking it's something completely different, and then it hits this 180 barrel spin into something completely different, and I think that really exemplified the experience for me. I went and watched this at a theater by myself with, it's like a couple grandparents were in there, and that first scene popped up. I'm like, oh my goodness. So thank goodness it wasn't that the whole movie, but regardless, amazing movie, definitely one I'd go check out. Now, Apartment 7A, this is hard to rank for me. I don't know. I wasn't vibing with it. I'd say it's bad. I wouldn't put it in really bad. It was just not good at all. I don't know. I've never seen Rosemary's Baby, so don't take this too harshly if you did like Rosemary's Baby in this one. I don't know. I knew it was a prequel. That's what I knew going into it, so I know I didn't have to watch Rosemary's Baby, but it kind of made the stakes just not that evident. Now, Argyle, that's my first F tier. And here's the thing with Argyle, right? this was, I think, my number 2 biggest disappointment of the year, behind another movie we'll see coming up. What a, like, disleading, or I don't really know how to put this. Like, it led you one way in the trailer, and then the movie came out, and it was all the way over there. Horrible. I thought they would bring this a different... It was so weird, and there were so many plot changes. And the last scene was her, like, skating on oil and shooting a bunch of people. It was stupid. It was such a stupid movie. Definitely a miss from Matthew Vaughn, and one that I was really excited for. It just was not good at all. The Beekeeper. Listen, as a Jason Statham, like, action movie, they're either hit or miss. And this one was a hit for me. I liked it. I liked the, like, real-world stuff that it brought into it with, like, the... scam call centers. I get probably 30 calls a day from them, because usually I answer them and tell them, like, the NBA scores of the day, and then they get pretty mad at me. But The Beekeeper was a great movie. I enjoyed it. Really good action. Jason Statham's coming out with another one this year called A Working Man. So we'll see how that is. My friend's really excited for that one. But I don't know. This is a good Jason Statham movie, one that I'd definitely check out. Beetlejuice. Now, people were either... There was two ends of the spectrum. I was on the one that I actually really enjoyed it. I'm not a big cult classic of the first one. I watched it before this one. It was good. It was really good. I actually liked the second one better than the first one, which I know is a huge hot take, but I like the zaniness. I love the zaniness. I like Michael Keaton's performance. Good movie. You're either going to really not like it because you love the first way too much, or you're going to be like me. You haven't really watched the first one or didn't grow up on the first one, didn't really necessarily care too much about it, and you'll watch this one, you'll think it's pretty good. Either that or you just don't like the way that Beetlejuice is handled, which is totally fine. We all have our opinions. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I don't know. I thought it was better than the first, so it's going in A, but below Beekeeper and Abigail. Now, The Bike Riders, this was, I don't know, a slight disappointment, but also kind of what I was expecting. It was just very slow, a little boring at points. But other than that, I thought the performance was pretty good. Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, and Tom Hardy all put in good performances. Tom Hardy had his little, I'm Tom Hardy, And Austin Butler I think Austin Butler was the best of the best there. Blink Twice is another one that I would put in, the good tier. The ending kind of ruined it. Actually, yeah, for that, I'm going to have to put it at the top of C. The ending was pretty stupid. I was sitting there like, what the heck was the whole point of this? I don't know. It's pretty dumb, but most of the movie was good, so I'll put it there. It's just, you got to nail the ending, and they just did not. So, oh well. You got to go in mid-tier for me, but you're probably going to be at the top of mid-tier. Borderlands. Now, a lot of people would put this in the worst 10. I actually don't have it in my worst 10 of the year because I didn't play the games. I watched the movie. It sucked. It really did. It's going in very, very bad. Very bad. Where did I put this in terms of that? So, no, I liked Argyle better than Borderlands. Yeah, so Borderlands would go with that. Yeah, I think it's my 12th worst movie of the year. Still really, really bad. But hey, I don't know. I didn't play the games. And the humor sucked. That was like one thing I hate about it. I thought I would enjoy the humor. Yeah, Jack Black is Claptrap, Kevin Hart in there. He's usually hit or miss. And then Cate Blanchett just put a very bland performance in. So it's a very bad movie, but it snuck out of my worst 10 of the year. The Brutalist. I watched this recently, actually. They re-released it in theaters near me. I went and watched it, and there was like an intermission in the middle of the movie for like 15 minutes. I went out and talked to the workers. They came in. They're like, oh, I've never seen this before. I'm like, yeah, to be honest, I haven't either. And I tried every slushy flavor they had, which was pretty cool. But with that being said, it's going at the top of good. Just a very long movie, almost 4 hours on the dot. And listen, it could be good. I loved Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's in my top 5 all time. The Lord of the Rings extended versions I've got through. This one it felt like it was dragging. Now, listen, the cinematography was great. The performances were amazing. It just kind of dragged on for me a little bit too much, and my friend agreed. I went with 2 friends. One of them thought it was probably the best movie he said he's ever seen, and then the other one was like, yeah, it was good. It just dragged, and that was my thought process too. Now, Carry On. Oh, by the way, Brutalist is probably going to win, Best Actor, Best Picture, whatever. Now, Carry On, Netflix original, not the best track record, per se, for Netflix originals. I'll be happy to say, though, that I actually really enjoyed this one, and I went on a plane, so I watched this, and then I had, like, a flight 2 weeks later. I was like, oh, boy, I'm going to see Jason Bateman at the airport. This is going to suck. Nope, I did not. Thank God I'm still here. But no. Carry On was great. It was very tense. I actually really enjoyed the suspense that it brought, and the action was pretty good. I mean, as much as you can have for a TSA airport officer. So I don't know. I like this. I thought it was a pretty original idea, and I thought they did good with it. Challengers. This is where I think I'm gonna lose some people here. Yeah. I don't know. It's not a movie for me. Let's just be honest here. It's not a movie for a guy like me. The score was really good. It was kind of a nothing burger of a movie, in my opinion. I don't know. It's tennis. I'm not a big tennis guy. I didn't really care for any thing that was happening tennis-wise. The story itself was interesting, the way I would put it. I watched this by myself at a special preview event 3 days before the movie came out because the theater forgot to put the tickets on sale. So I showed up because I saw it and they're like, "Oh yeah, we actually forgot to put that on our website." I'm like, "Oh, that's great going, guys. Yeah, let me watch this in a 300-person theater by myself." So I think that might have added to the experience if I had other people watching with me. But one person in a 300-person theater, it's an interesting experience when you're by yourself. Now, Civil War. I think this was one of my disappointments of the year. I thought it was going to be really, really good. It was not. It went a direction I didn't want it to take, and that was the fact that they had it as photographers documenting the war. Fair enough. Warfare is coming out from Alex Garland this year, which I am very excited about. So even if Civil War didn't necessarily hit, hopefully Warfare does. But next up, The Crow. A lot of hate on this movie. And I actually not really liked it. I liked it. I do. Okay, I did. It's not better than the original. Listen, the original is a cult classic. I have watched it. I loved it. Obviously, we don't have it on set with Brandon Lee. And he is the Crow. It's hard to replicate that. I think Bill Skarsgård did a good job at being the Crow. The love story was a little muddled, and the first half of the movie was a bore. But once the action kicked up, I thought it was very good. I watched this with two friends. We both agreed. I'm like, "Oh, that was very good action. Very good action. That Opera House scene was incredible." Now, I get it. If you're a cult classic fan of the original, sure, you're probably not going to like this as much. Or if you read the comics, as I talked to one of my friends, and he said it's his favorite comic of all time, and they butched this so bad. It's like, well, I've never seen the comics, so I can't really say that for certain. But I personally enjoyed the movie. I think that was my most popular review of last year. Very divisive. People either said it sucked, or they agreed with me that it was awesome. So I don't know. I fit in the category that I enjoyed it. Was it a great movie? No, but it was a good movie. It was a good action movie. After you get past that first half of a little bit of setting up the story. Cuckoo. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit better than Civil War. This is a very weird movie. Very, very weird. Go into it thinking it's going to be really weird. It's kind of like the basis with A24 movies at this point, but I thought it was really cool. I don't know. It was a weird, cool movie. There's movies that can be cool and weird at the same time, and this one nails it. Hunter Schafer does great, and when she's riding her bike down the street in one of the scenes, and we get to see the first monster appearance, it was actually pretty effective at getting me a little disturbed. So, fair play to Cuckoo. It's going in the good tier. Yeah, it was a good movie. I would go check it out if you're into weirdish movies. Dario. I put this, okay, so I was lifting, and I saw the reviews were good for it, right? So I went to go check it out. I put it on at my TV, and I was watching this, and the first scene of her texting her abusive ex or her whatever, her situationship, and what they were saying, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is not going to be a movie for me, and it did not pick up. I don't know. I think the performances were pretty bland, in my opinion. It just was, again, not a movie for me, kind of in the same vein as Challengers, but I actually found joy in Challengers. This one was not a movie for me, and I found no joy in it. So it's definitely my worst 10. I think it was my worst 5, so I hated it. If you have the same movie taste as me, you're also going to hate it. It's simple as that. Not a movie for me. I'll leave it at that. Deadpool and Wolverine. Number 2 movie of the year. Now, I understand. It could be basic, whatever. I don't care. I had such a good time with this movie. You don't understand. I watched it 4 times in 1 week. That opening scene of Bye 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 with Deadpool, and I work at a theater, right? So I'd go make sure the movie would be playing correctly, and sometimes I would even cheat a bit and just say, hey, I'm going to go make sure that this starts up so I could watch that opening scene of Bye 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 play, because it's such an opening scene, and I don't know what it is, but it just draws you in. the implications when earlier in another X-Men movie, I forgot which one, might be X2, X-Men 2, when Wolverine says, I hate this song, and like punches out a radio when Bye 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 comes on. It's like, it's poetic in a way. It's like, it's a nice little callback, and the action's great. The one CGI of Wolverine being like, stand still after that, who cares? Deadpool sort of goes, at the end of the day, it's a very funny movie, and it's great action, and that's all I can really want from it. Saving grace from Marvel, hopefully, on to better movies this year. Yeah, let's hope. Despicable Me 4. No, where did I put it? There you go. What a disappointment. We had two... I watched this with a couple of my employees, and two of them left the theater like an hour in, and they liked Despicable Me. They liked the Despicable Me franchise. What I think we were all mad about was the underutilization of the Super Minions. That was the only good thing about the movie, and they barely appeared in it. So I don't want to say too much about it. I really did not enjoy it, but it's a kid's movie at the end of the day. It's not for me. Now, what was this one? Don't Move, I think. This is what it is? Could be wrong. I don't know. Kind of blind right now. I don't have my glasses on because it would like glare off of the light, so I had to take them off. Yeah, I liked it better than Civil War, but not as much as Cuckoo. Listen, this one wasn't getting good reviews, so I went into it, and I think it was probably a surprising good for me. Just one of those movies that I thought was really tense and a good thriller. Like, yeah, she couldn't move, but I thought, even though she couldn't move or talk, she put in a great performance. I don't know the actress's name, I'm sorry. But this is a great movie. One that I would check out if you like tense movies, just keeping you at the edge of your seat. That's basically what this movie is. Next up, we have Dune Part 2. And this was my number 4 movie of the year. One of those movies where you're just looking at a spectacle just happen on screen. The performances were mostly good. Sometimes they were a little flat. But I don't know. This was just one of those ones where you get immersed in the world of Dune. And what is it, Arrakis? Yeah, I think that's the name of it. Hopefully I'm not wrong. I don't want to be a Dune casual. But anyways, I think it's Arrakis. And the sandworms were great. Everything about this movie was just like perfect sci-fi. That's the way I would put it. From the opening scene to Austin Butler fighting in black and white in the arena to the ending of what was it? Was it Johnny riding or calling for the sandworm? Perfect. It's like a great. I want to see how Part 3 does, but this has a chance to be like one of my favorite trilogies of all time if they nail Part 3. I haven't seen the TV show, so I don't know how that is, but I don't know. It was a great movie. Number 4 movie of the year for me. Now, next up is a movie that I actually watched and I didn't really care for, and that was Elevation. Now, this should be my bread and butter. Elevation is about like aliens that take over Earth, but they can't go to a certain elevation, so everyone like moves up. I think it's the Rocky Mountains. They like move up there, and they make lines showing the elevation that they can't pass. Now, for the most part, the performances were a little flat, but what really irked me was one scene in particular, and I know you this might be nitpicky, whatever, it's a movie, but if your whole basis is a movie that is on this alien creature thing can't go past a certain elevation, and then they're on a ski, like a ski lift, that's above the elevation point, and they're like trying to run away from an alien, and they got to get to this point right up the mountain. So elevation works, right? So you're higher you go up, the elevation increases. So why is it when this ski lift is above that point in elevation, and this alien's able to come and kill someone? I don't know. It made no sense to me, and it pissed me off. I don't know. That's like the one thing that stuck in my brain in the movie is like, what a like mess up from them. I don't think they know how elevation works, but it's a little nitpicky. I know, yeah, whatever. But I don't know. It was just not a good. I also watched it after coming off of Anora, which was an amazing movie, and then I watched this like 10:20 at night when I was already tired. Didn't really mix well with the stupidity and the mix of being tired. So that's it with Elevation. I don't know. It's one of those movies that I'll probably never watch again. Emilia Perez. I don't even really want to rank this, but it's going to have to go. I think it's my worst movie of the year that I finished all the way through. 13 Oscar nominations for this. Yeah. I don't know what I could say that's already not been said. Horrible movie. And I hate musicals. and they had one of the worst musical bits in probably cinema history, in music history. I don't care. What a stupid movie. And Hollywood, it just goes to show Hollywood is so screwed now. I mean, the fact that this is getting 13 Oscar nominations, it's a complete joke. Even the guy, like, listen, the guy from Challengers, the director was, gosh, I don't remember his name. The director walked out of, I think it was the Golden Globes, when it won, like, Best Musical or whatever, or Best Score. That's respect. I could move Challengers up to S or A tier because of this. But no. What a joke to cinema. What's not a joke to cinema is The Fall Guy. Again, I liked Alien a bit more than it. But what a movie for, like I said, we're talking about Daddy-O and Challengers not being movies for me. This is 100% a movie for me. I went and watched this a month early on my birthday, which was pretty cool, in downtown Chicago. And this is just one of those movies that, you know, if it's your humor, you're going to love it. I love Ryan Gosling in these roles. Emily Blunt was good. And it was just a great original story. I'm sure it might not be original because stunt guys have been around forever. Yeah, but have you ever made a movie about a stunt guy with stunt guys in it? That's a question you got to ask. So, yeah, I love this movie. I think it came in at my number 9 of the year. So, very, very good. I really enjoyed The Fall Guy. Or maybe it was number 8 and this was number 7. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Okay, I think that's what it was. Final answer right there. First Omen. Better than Beetlejuice, not as good as Abigail. What a surprise. I think this was my 3rd biggest surprise of the year. I thought it was going to be horrible, like a stereotypical, horror movie slop. But no, this was great. Very, very good. Very disturbing, too. So if you're a horror fan, you should 100% go check this out, especially if you're a fan of the first Omen, which I've never seen. This is a great... to me, it's like Apartment 7A was not a great sequel to a movie I haven't seen. This intrigues me to go actually watch the real Omen, or the first Omen movie, because of how good it was. I don't know if the first Omen is going to be... or this is the first Omen, technically. The Omen is going to be better than the first Omen, but I really enjoyed this, and it's a very good horror flick. Now, Furiosa. This, I think, is number 12. Just missed out on my top 10. Mad Max is a freaking great series. And this one is just as good. Now, Chris Hemsworth puts in a great performance. Anya Taylor-Joy is pretty good with Furiosa. But it's not as good as Mad Max Fury Road. And if I had to choose between the two, I'd choose Mad Max basically every single time. But it's a very good movie. Like I said, it's outside my top 10 by like this much. So, a movie I really enjoyed, definitely, but Fury Road is 100% better. The Garfield movie. Yeah, you're going bad. I liked you better than Despicable Me 4, but you're at the very bottom of bad. Chris Pratt. What doesn't he do? What voice role doesn't he do? He did Mario, he did Garfield. Yeah, I don't know. This guy needs to get out of these animated movies. Give other people a chance to shine. Ghostbusters. Frozen Empire. Big disappointment here. Very mid-movie. They tried to bring back the charm by bringing everyone back. It just was not working for basically anyone. I think we all can agree that Afterlife had its moments. I'm not a big fan of Afterlife, but this one just kind of lost me and basically lost everyone. Now, Gladiator 2, this is going to be very controversial for some people because I know a lot of people that hate this movie, but it's going up in grade. It's still, guys, come on. In terms of, it's not probably historically accurate, whatever. The performances may be over the top or a little bland at some points. Whatever. It's gladiators fighting. And yeah, it's not accurate that they're in ships, blah, blah. Whatever. It's not as good as the first. The first one is a top 20 movie all time for me. But I still had a lot of fun with this one. A lot of fun with it. And that's what I think people were missing, is they were just taking it too literally. I mean, you can take movies however you want. Me, I go in, I want a good time. That's why I go there. But I don't know. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I was one of those that did like it. Okay, what is next? What is that? GXK. That is my number 10 movie of the year. So this one just sneaked in. Listen, there's something about King Kong becoming the Winter Soldier and Godzilla just becoming this even more freaking mecha monster beast. It's a fun time. It's a fun time, and the CGI, it's not enough. There's too much CGI. It's just CGI going all over the screen. I know, you can have that opinion. Sure. I don't care. I love watching a big monkey and a big lizard fight another big monkey. Is that enough to ask? Can a man just be pleased by that? No? Okay. Harold and the Purple Crayon. Ooh, ooh. I think that was literally the movie outside of the top 10. I think it was the first out. Wow, what a terrible movie. I don't even want to talk about it. Moving on. Let's move on. Hellboy. The Crooked Man. Yeah, this movie's pretty bad, but it's Hellboy, so it's not Ron Perlman. It'll never be Ron Perlman. Regardless, it's Hellboy. It was decent. There were some moments I liked, but most of it's like, okay, this was definitely a movie made for TV. Heretic. One of those movies where, I mean, you'll see my number one movie. This is one of the ones where it makes you think. And a movie that makes me think and, like, open my brain up a bit, I actually really do enjoy. As long as you don't do it too much. But Heretic was great. I love the Monopoly. Anything, Hugh Grant's performance was great. What's it, Sophie Thatcher? I think it's Sophie Thatcher, not Sophia. Sophie Thatcher. Good performance. Both the missionaries were pretty good. But it was just a movie that made you think, and I love those kind of horror movies that, you know, you got to take a deep dive into and think about where this could go, what theories could, you know, possibly be because of this. So it's one of those movies that I really enjoy. If you're into, like, psychological horror, I think is the term for it, definitely go check Heretic out. Hitman, I don't know if this was technically this year or last year, but I think it came out like officially this year. Good movie, really good movie with Glenn Powell. He's kind of on a hot streak here, if we're being honest. And yeah, this was one of those movies that I did just put on and enjoyed. Another Netflix original that, thank goodness it hit, because some of them really do suck. Hot Frosty. This was another Netflix original. And you get to go down... Where was this at? I think it was... I can't remember where this was. I'll put it... Yeah, I'll put it... It was better than Argyle. No. It sucks. Just leave it at that. It's a movie made for Hallmark, essentially. Woohoo. I don't know why. Listen, I got clickbaited by my coworker, Ryan Carpeel. He gave this a movie 5 stars and said it was great. I then watched it. Horrible. House of Spoils. Another movie I put on while lifting. Another pretty bad movie. I don't know. It was not hitting to me at all. But it was better than If. Congratulations. You're better than If. Where do I put If? If goes right there. Yeah, If is definitely another kid's movie I probably should have never watched, but I did. I put it on while I was lifting. Bad idea. Really bad idea. Another bad idea. Watching Imaginary. Congratulations. You get Worst 10. Welcome to the Worst 10, Imaginary. Yeah, another February horror movie, which, if you haven't seen my Hard Eyes review, I'm just glad we had a good horror movie come out in February, because usually it's a pretty bad slate in the early months of the year for horror movies. Immaculate. Going right there. Yeah, this one was okay for the most part. I mean, I got this one for free, so I couldn't complain. I went to a theater because my local theater didn't get it, and I waited. I had 2 free passes to use, right? And me and my friend were waiting in line, and it probably took like 20 minutes, and the movie was starting. I'm like, we'll just go in. If they come in, we'll give them the free passes. There's only 2 other people in there with us. The workers just kept running around and doing nothing, and they'd like, someone will order nachos, like, oh, we don't have chips, cheese, or jalapenos up here. It's like very interesting lobby experience. The movie itself was decent. Yeah, pretty generic, none. Sydney Sweeney tried to broaden her role a bit. Didn't really hit for me too much. In a Violent Nature. Now, this would be arguably in these two if it wasn't so boring for almost a lot of the movie. Basically, the whole movie was pretty boring. But, the kills is what made it up. The kills were incredible. Incredible kills. One of the best kills, the yoga kill. If you've seen it, you know. If you haven't, if you want to look at it, just expect very, very much gore. Inside Out 2. Yeah, I don't know. I like the first one better than the second one. This one's a good one. This is one of the kids' movies where I actually sat through and was like, oh, yeah, it's pretty good. I actually enjoyed it. ISS. Go ISS yourself. Yeah. Sure. Another one where the ending was horrible and the whole movie itself was just like Wait, I just saw. Next up, my worst movie of the year. It ends with us. Sorry, ISS. I don't know what I'm saying. It ends with us, respectfully. It should end with this movie, 100%. Screw this movie. I walked out of it. I couldn't bear it anymore. This is like, again, not my thing, but also who really wants to go to the theater for this? Who even wants... Women are weird. They're weird. They're scary. I'm sorry. Whatever. Don't watch this movie. Joker filet à doudou. Filet à doudou. That's what I like to say. I can respect the cinematography from Todd Phillips. Other than that, everything else about this movie can go fuck itself, respectfully. No, disrespectfully. Go fuck yourself. You ruined the Joker. Juror number 2. Putting you right below the Brutalist. No, I liked it better than the Brutalist. No, I did not like it as much as the Brutalist. Teeter-tottering, you know? To me, it's like 12 Angry Men, just not as good. Nicholas Hoult does a decent performance, but other than that, I can take it or leave it. The Killer's Game. Now, you guys are probably going to not like me for this, but... Well, actually, I don't know. I thought this movie was really good. I enjoyed it. It gave me like a Bullet Train kind of vibe. And I love Bullet Train. This one was not as good as Bullet Train, but I still enjoyed it. So, congratulations. You get into the great tier. Kinds of Kindness. Yeah, I'll leave you right there. Really weird movie. Yorgos Lanthimos, I think his name is. You're a weird guy. I hope you know that. But it's enjoyable. I mean, I just sat through it, and it's one of those, like, weird movies that takes a lot of, plot stuff. As is usual movies that are very weird. Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter. No, I had some fun with it. It's better than ISS, better than that. Worse than Elevation. Yeah. Kind of a weird way to go about it. I'm making a whole movie just to end like, oh, this is how he got his coat. Huh? Why didn't you just put his coat on in the first place and made a different freaking movie? You ever think of that, Sony? Maybe that's why your whole villain verse failed, because you didn't think before you put out movies. You just kept churning them out. Stupid. Disappointing movie right here. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing Kung Fu Panda. No, you can go up at the bottom of this. Super disappointing. It's just, gosh, they massacred this so bad. It was not needed. They knew it wasn't needed either. But they put it out still. And for that, screw you. What a muddled mess. Land of Bad. Oof. Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed it. That's a better war movie than Civil War, in my opinion. By a little bit. This one actually followed a good one. Sorry, Land of Bad. You're a pretty good movie. That's all I could say about it. Number 1 movie of the year, Late Night with the Devil. If you haven't seen... Actually, I don't think I made a review for this, but it was, if you see my top 10 movies of the year video, this was number 1. I love original ideas. I think sequels are really taking over movies at this point, especially theater experiences. So it is really cool to see a theater experience I can go to where I was genuinely pumped and it delivered. The CGI was questionable at some points, but the budget I don't think they just had the budget. And David Dastmalchian, I'm not even going to try his name. David D. Very good performance. Very, very good performance as Jack Delroy. And the premise was sick. The premise was so good. And they nailed it. The performances were great. And this is one of the ones, like Heretic, it makes you think and it makes you wonder. And I'm not going to go too much into it, but there is a huge, huge plot point in this movie that I knew about before going into it. And after watching it, I wanted to research more into it. And it's really cool to go research stuff after a movie because it gets you thinking. So, yeah, this was a really good movie. My number 1 of the year. I loved it. Nothing else to say. If you like horror movie, again, psychological horror movies that make you think, check this one out. Next up is Lisa Frankenstein. Yeah, again, not my movie. It's just pretty mid. There were some cool parts to it, but definitely a movie that I'm not going to be accustomed to and not like. So, yeah, I'm sure, if you're If you're into like a chick flick or a feminine spin on Frankenstein, you'll like this one a lot more than I did. It's not my vibe. Longlegs, my number 3 movie on the year. I love Longlegs. Again, do I need to say any more with Late Night with the Devil and Heretic? Makes you think, really does. And boy, was this movie actually genuinely disturbing, with Nicolas Cage running around, "Mommy! Daddy! Make me unalive!" Or unborn, whatever it was. I loved it. Yeah, one of those ones where it makes you think, and it's genuinely disturbing. Not as much like jump scares or horror tropes in it, but it's a good devilish movie. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. Now, listen, out of spite, I'm putting it in F tier. I think it's indicative to know that I love Middle-earth. I'm reading through The Lord of the Rings right now. Actually, I've watched all the movies, the extended versions, as I mentioned before or earlier in this video. Even the Hobbits, I can find a little bit of enjoyment into it, even though it's like, yeah, you stretched out one book into 3 movies, as opposed to Lord of the Rings, where you were able to do that. Then they kind of ruined it. Was this supposed to be about like Helm Hammer? I forgot his name already. Yeah, desecration. Weird way to put it into like this anime style. I was skeptical, and I went and watched it, and I hated it. So, yeah, it's going in F tier. With all due respect, it's probably better than a lot of these movies in D tier, and honestly, half a C tier. But I don't care. I have so much spite against it for how much it desecrated Lord of the Rings' name. Next up, I think this was it just outside, or was it my number 10? I don't know. I'll see at the end. If I only have 9 slots in my best 10, then I'll know. Okay, well, I forgot Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but I think it just is outside of it. But lovely movie. I love the Planet of the Apes movies. This one was another healthy addition to it, so I really did enjoy it. And like I said, it might be my number 10, but if not, it's my number 11, which is just outside of it. Anyways, sorry about that long monologue there. Yeah, this is another great Planet of the Apes movie. It's not better than the Matt Reeves ones, but still a very, very good addition. Madam Web. Yeah, Dakota Johnson, congratulations. You made it 2 movies on my worst 10 list. Now, I don't think it's your fault, per se. One of them is just because, like, yeah, it's not for me. It's not my vibe. The other one was even Dakota Johnson on, like, the pressers or, like, the week leading up to the movie where you're supposed to be promoting it. She did not give a fuck. She knew this movie sucked. Everyone knew this movie sucked. The voice lines with the villain, whatever his name was, it's so forgettable. And goodness gracious, when Craven looks that good compared to your movie, that's saying something. This deserved to just be thrown in the trash and just scrapped. Shouldn't have even made the movie. So, another huge miss from Marvel, and I'm glad that this Sony-verse, villain-verse is over. Maxine. Another divisive one that people either hated or liked, but I actually did really like it. Yeah. I don't know, I like the setting, I like the vibe. I'm not a big fan of Pearl. I want to preface that. I like X. I'm not a big fan of Pearl. And I know what you guys are probably thinking. Oh, you like one because one is this. No, I just enjoy. Pearl was one of the more like slow burn horror movies, and they could do that well. I think Pearl was a decent movie. X was really good, and Maxine was good. That's how I'd put those. That's how I'd put those in terms of that. Ooh, Megalopolis. Welcome. You're better than Harold. Congratulations. You're better than Harold in the Purple Crayon. Coppola had his vision. He did it. Yeah, that's all that needs to be said there. I'll leave it at that. Miller's Girl. Woohoo. Wow. Watch this wall. Lifting. Great movie to put on wall. Lifting, if I may add. Like I said, some of these movies I'll watch in theaters, some I'll just put on at home, and some I'll put on when I'm lifting. I don't know. I saw this one. I'm like, this came out this year. It's Jenna Ortega and, what's his name? Something Lawrence? Martin Lawrence? No, I don't think that's right. Whatever. Whatever his name is. The guy plays Bilbo, and he's in Black Panther. So, I put it on. Horrible. Don't watch it, please. Or watch it. I don't care. I can't control you. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Loved it. Loved this movie. Loved this war movie. Now, listen, this is one of my most underrated. Not a lot of people have seen it, I don't believe. But if you haven't, I'd go check it out, especially if you like war movies. Moana 2. Yeah, we'll put you right there. Very mid. I had to watch this twice. I could have went and watched Nosferatu for the first time, but then someone persuaded me to go watch Moana 2. Yeah. Great. Lovely. Had to go watch it twice. Twice as nice? Nope, not really. The Monkey Man. Just Monkey Man. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Dev Patel did pretty good in it. The action was sick. They marketed it to be kind of like John Wick. It's not. It's not John Wick. It's like Indian John Wick. Or Bollywood John Wick, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I enjoyed it, though. It was good action. Monster Summer. This is probably the definition of mid. Yeah, a movie that I probably should have been for me. I like those kind of movies, but I don't know. Just kind of fell flat in most areas. That is Monster Summer, right? Yeah. Mr. Crockett. I keep doing that. Mr. Crockett. Should have been one of my favorite movies of the year because it's like Freddy Krueger, essentially, but he comes out of your TV screen, so Poltergeist-ish. And it was a Hulu original, and I think that's probably what killed it. Yeah, not good. Mufasa. No, you're better than Hot Frosty and Argyle and Joker. But you're still a steaming pile of garbage. What a weird way to Mufasa's origin story. Stupid. It was very, very, very obviously a just cash grab. That's what they did. They just wanted to get cash off of you. So if you went and watched it in theaters, congratulations, you attributed to that. And if you genuinely sat through the "My brother, this is my brother" song or whatever the heck it went like, I applaud you because that was hard. Really hard to do. Never Let Go. I'm trying to see where I would put this. Yeah, right there. I saw a lot of people hating on this movie, and I actually really liked it. I thought it was a cool premise. I'm sure this is one of those ones where, like I said with Elevation, I'm sure there's a little bit of contrivances with, the logic there. Like, how is a rope going to touch the house and you're fine? Whatever, who cares? It's one of the ones where I'm just like, the performances and premise makes up for it. Night Swim, however, does not. Night Swim sucks. So again, one of those January, February horror movies that was just horrible. Definitely one that I am very unhappy that I had the displeasure of watching. And here's the thing. I didn't want to watch it, but I was working late one night, and it started like a huge blizzard for like the next 3 hours, it said. So I was like, I could drive home in it, but honestly, at the end of the day, I'll just stay here after hours and watch Night Swim. So I did it. And yeah, I probably would have been more enjoyable to almost crash in the snow over and over again than watch this movie. So, Night Swim, congratulations. You made it to the worst 10. Nosferatu. I like to say Nosferatu. Whew. This movie was incredible. I loved it. Again, one of those ones where it's just a the cinematography. Good gravy, Jimmy. Just like doing this just immerses you in the world, and it's so well shot. It's so beautifully shot. It really is. Yeah, I don't know. If you like horror in the sense of... Because this isn't psychological. This isn't jump scare. This is like Victorian-era horror. It's Robert Eggers. If you know Robert Eggers, this will be your thing. Oddity. Oh, wow. Oddity. Yeah. This one was getting really high praise, so I went into it thinking it was going to be really good, and it was good. It wasn't great. I don't know. It kind of fell flat. A little boring to me at some points, but again, the critics loved it. But Rotten Tomatoes is weird because it's like, do you like it or not? And then we'll calculate that. So it's not actually like, you could have like a 6 out of 10 movie, but if everyone thinks it's 6 out of 10, it'll say 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I always trust the audience score a lot more than the tomato meter. Piece by Piece. Now, this was a huge surprise for me. I actually really liked this movie. Yeah, you're good, right? No, here, I liked you better than that. No, stop. Go where I want you to go. I want more Lego biopics, Lego documentaries. Let's see them. Seriously, let's see them. Bring them out. I want to see, like, we had Pharrell Williams, Ozzy Osbourne in Lego. Can you imagine that? That'd be awesome. Let's have Ozzy's life in Lego. That's what I like to see right there. The Platform 2. Yeah, you were really bad. Just one that... Why did we have a sequel to this? The first one I actually thought was okay. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was okay. This one was just such a bad movie. Like, there was nothing better than the first one. Honestly, they shouldn't have made it, and they did. Whatever. It is what it is. Quiet Place Day 1. Yeah. I like the Quiet Place movies. This one was, I think, my least favorite out of the 3, but for the most part, this is one of the ones where it's like, okay, well, why does a random in the crowd make a little, like, step and the monster hears them, but then Joseph Quinn is, like, 2 centimeters away and he's going, and they can't hear that. Movie logic, baby. That's how it is. It's one of the movies where you kind of have to look past it. Rebel Ridge. Yeah, you go right there. I heard this one was like Rambo meets something else, and it was good. I enjoyed it, but it's not Rambo. And when I hear that's compared to Rambo, I get too excited, and then I watched it, and I was like, okay, well, this was not as good as Rambo. I probably should have thought that, but comparing it to Rambo, I was expecting a lot more. Red 1. Yeah. Yeah, this is probably the definition of mid-movie, or the definition of, hey, your budget probably shouldn't just go to paying all these superstars. Maybe actually put effort into the movie. Yeah, stupid. Everything. Like, The Rock running or turning small. Like, oh my goodness. There was some bad CGI in there, especially for like a $300 million movie. Like, Late Night with the Devil, like I said, CGI. I don't even know its budget. It's definitely probably a tenth of that at that, if anything. So, yeah, Red 1, I was expecting a lot more, but all the money went to the cast. Ricky Stenicki. Yeah, one that I thought that was okay. I liked it better than Red 1. I did. I don't know. It was a weird ensemble of cast members, but definitely a movie for me. Reagan. No, it's a bad movie, but I don't know. I guess I learned a couple things about Reagan. None of the bad stuff, just all the good stuff about Reagan, because, you can't make a biopic and have anything bad with the president. Right. Listen, I don't want to get, political about this, but it was just kind of boring. The fluff scenes were kind of stupid. I wasn't alive for Reagan, so I can't say he's a good president. He wasn't a good president. I don't know. I wasn't alive. I didn't live during the time. I was born in 2004. Yeah, that's way after his time. He did almost get assassinated, though, so congratulations on being one of the few presidents to actually get, shot at? Takes guts to get that. Roadhouse. I liked it a lot more than other people, I'll tell you that. Is it a stupid movie? Yep. But hey, it has merit to it. That's all I can say. Ryan's World. Look at this. Why do I have this on here? Well, simply because it no-showed one day at my theater while I was working, and it was such a dead day. So I went to go deep clean the theater, and I kept this movie on because I'm like, I haven't watched it, so I'll watch it while cleaning. What a mistake. What a mistake. Yeah, this is for 3-year-olds. It's not even for 8-year-olds. It's for anyone under the age of 5. You can watch Ryan's World. Yeah, horrible. And I actually watched the whole thing while I was cleaning. That's how much cleaning had to be done. But anyways, Salem's Lot was good. No, I like Land of Bad better. I actually haven't read the book I have the book from Stephen King, haven't read it. And I know I haven't seen the original from Tobe Hooper. But, I don't know, I like that one a bit. Saturday Night, another good movie. Put you right there. My era of Saturday Night Live is a lot different from this one. What is this next movie? Oh! Sorry, Saturday night. I gotta move on to the Sandy Cheeks story. Oof. I don't even want to say much about it. First and maybe second SpongeBob movie, that's all you need. That's all you need. Don't go past that, please. And I think they're coming out with a new one this year. They are. I think they are. Genuinely, I think they are. If not this year, then next year. Slingshot. Very boring movie to me. I'll put it above ISS because I liked it. In terms of these two space movies were very boring. Very, very boring and had weird endings. So, yeah, I think Slingshot was a little bit more enjoyment than ISS, but they both suck, so. To me. I mean, you might like it. If you like it, fair enough. Fair play to you. Smile 2. Really enjoyed this movie. Yeah, we'll go right there. Great performance. So, good sequel, good follow-up, but an even better follow-up, Sonic 3. Yeah. Even better follow-up. I really like Sonic 3. The first two were good. Sonic 3, When It Brings in Shadow, Keanu Reeves. Excellent. I liked it. I loved it. No, it was great. There we go. Speak No Evil. Yeah. It was... The performances were good. Everything else was... For the most... Hey, you know what? For the most part, it was good. I'll leave it at that. What do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I have 10 in there, but I just saw this movie, and I think that's in my worst 10. So it ends with us. You get to go down here because I didn't end up finishing you. Just know you should be dead last. You should. Sorry about that, guys. Strange Darling. No, you're not better than... Yeah, we'll put you right there. I don't really want to say too much about that movie. I thought it was not great. Strangers, really bad movie. Yeah, you go right there. Subservience. I know what you guys are going to think. You're putting us a little too high, Jimmy. I know I am. I don't care. Megan Fox was my crush from like 5 years old to 12 years old. Michaela Barnes in Transformers. If you asked me to get married, I still would. Seriously. The Substance. Yes. Love this movie. One of my biggest surprises of the year again. You rock, Demi Moore. I hope you win Best Actress. And Margaret Qualley got robbed of Best Supporting. I don't really know how it works. Like we said with this movie, Emilia Perez. You get an actress in a supporting role that was your lead, but yet we can't get Margaret Qualley in a supporting role, even though she was kind of the lead as well. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Make it make sense, at least. Tarot. I don't really know how you say it. Pretty bad movie. Very bad movie, even. Yeah, it was not as good as The Strangers. Leave it at that. Very generic. It had Ned from Spider-Man, though, so cool to see. Terrifier 3! Yes, Art. I love Art the Clown. In fact, give me 1 second. When I say I love Art the Clown, I'm not kidding. I bought this just because I love him so much. Holy moly. Alright, it was pretty hard to breathe in that thing, I can't lie. So, anyways, yes, I love Art the Clown. He's a horror icon at this point, let's just be honest. I'm still catching my breath. That thing is super hard to breathe out of. Anyways, Thelma! A movie I gave 5 stars to, for one reason only. I love you, Thelma. You're a national treasure. Now, in terms of where I would actually put you, yeah. No. Just for you, we'll put you at the top. The top of good. Yeah. I like Thelma. I actually did. Listen, shoot me if you'd like. I thought it was an actual, genuine, enjoyable movie. Not a lot of people would agree with me, I don't think, but I liked it. Time Cut. Really bad movie. It's like Totally Killer, the Wish version. Yeah. Transformers 1, though, incredible. Love Transformers, as I mentioned with Megan Fox. Boom. Oh, wait, where? My worst 10. What is going on? All right, I'm going to have to do some meddling here because, yeah, Trap is in my top 10 worst. So I got to figure out what went wrong here. I need to take a look at some things. Okay, guys, I sincerely apologize about that. I don't know what was going through my brain, but the list is updated. I apologize. We're good. Trap, horrible movie. It was my biggest disappointment of the year by far. So, yes, it deserves worst 10. Twisters, on the other hand, great movie. Not as good as the original, but still very good, and I enjoyed it a lot. Venom 3, this is one of those where I knew it probably wasn't going to be good, and it was not good. Regardless, it's still a Venom movie, so it was still mostly enjoyable. No, actually, it was not mostly enjoyable. It was mostly unenjoyable, but it had enjoyable moments. That's what I would like to say. The new VHS, this is actually my first ever VHS I watched, which is kind of weird. I probably should have started with the original VHS. But I enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy it. You know what, Civil War? You can be ahead of someone finally. Congratulations. So yeah, VHS, I think this one was Beyond. VHS Beyond. Yeah. Good movie. I actually like the found footage style of it. Now, The Watchers. This was a very bad movie. Very bad. I watched this on a cruise ship, actually, which was pretty interesting. They had like a big TV. They'd show movies at like 9 p.m. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Weekend in Taipei. Oof. Yeah. Yikes. Not a good movie at all. Going at the bottom of bad. Bottom of the barrel, as I would like to say. Werewolves. This one's tough. Because I enjoyed it, but I know it was mid. But in the sake of practical effects, we're putting it in good. Because I love the practical effects. I love the make of the werewolves themselves. Down to our last four, starting off with The Wild Robot. A movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. So, yeah, it's going at the top of great. This and Transformers 1 were truly like the competition for best animated movie of the year. I still teeter-totter on which one I like more. But as a Transformers fan, it so far has my heart. Wolves, a movie that should have came to theaters, and it didn't. And for that reason, it kind of suffered. But even then, it was still a good movie. So I like the dynamic between Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Y2K. Yeah, I mean, listen, the humor was not good. It was not hitting for me. I didn't grow up during this Y2K craze, so, you know, I like Limp Bizkit in it, though. That was cool. Yeah, that's all I can really say about that. And then 1992, a little bit of a disappointment, but still a solid movie for the most part. I'd probably put you right above Immaculate. So, this is my official final list for all the 2024 movies. Like I said, my best 10, and then we got great, good, mid, bad, very bad, and then the worst 10. So, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this list. Or if you have like anywhere you'd put, give me your top 10, your worst 10, whatever. I'm sure there's varying. I ranked 108 movies, so there's going to be some people that disagree with it. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed. Long video. Hope you grabbed some popcorn for this one. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.